Testing 1, 2, 3. Are we ready, Satish?
Yes, sir. We are live in Facebook.
Okay. We'll just take about 2 more minutes and we will start the program shortly, ladies and gentlemen.
Đấy, vì cái mic tôi đi rồi. Còn muốn ngược sang. Because we are too close, I think, huh?
A very good afternoon to all present here today. Welcome to KLCK's Zoom Town Hall session on the disruption and evolution of the event industry. This program is proudly presented by Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry with our collaborating partner, Makios Malaysia. Well, COVID-19 has disrupted the entire industry. The whole business ecosystem has been totally disrupted. And we are here today to discuss on the disruption and the evolution of this industry and how the stakeholders should adapt to the next evolution to ensure that they are sustainable in the business today. Here we have today 4 good speakers. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our Deputy President, Mr. Thamizselvam Subramaniam, to give his welcoming speech, and thereafter we have lined up with 4 good speakers to address each and every segment of this program here today. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Thamizselvam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Zoom program today, Kuala Lumpur, organized by Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, jointly by collaborating with MASIOS, which is a Malaysian Association of Convention and Exhibition and Suppliers organization. Thank you everybody to join this session today. And we all know that we are going through lockdowns because of this COVID pandemic. Nevertheless, I think very important for this industry, MICE, which is MISCE, Meetings, Incentive, Convention, Exhibition sector, this industry are the worst affected, apart from tourism. They are the worst affected industry. I think today's section, we want to organize this because this is the number 2 after tourism industry, tourism business segment. This my segment is focus today. Okay, I would like to welcome our speakers here, Mr. Jagarao Simanchana, CEO, AASC Agenda Surya Communications Sdn Bhd, who is also a council member of MASIOS, and he is also our member. He's a Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce member. Welcome, Mr. Jack.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. That is. He's our first speaker, and then the speaker number 2 is Mr. Jonathan Sivaratnam, CEO of Jiggy Malaysia Sdn Bhd. I think for those who are not aware about Jiggy, they are a very big virtual event management, Malaysia and Singapore, Asia, and also the world. They do virtual event management. Welcome, Mr. Jonathan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Looking forward to
and then the speaker number 3 is Mr. Iskandar Mirza bin Mohammad Yusof, Senior Director from Strategy Planning Division, Malaysia Tourism Promotion Board. I think Malaysia Tourism, welcome Mr. Iskandar Mirza.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for Malaysia Tourism Promotion Board also to participate in today's event. I think Malaysia Tourism Promotion Board is very relevant in this subject, what we are doing for MICE industry. And then the speaker number 4, Muhammad Imran Razi, Senior Executive, Market Development Grant, Unit Martrade. And Martrade, we are working very closely with Martrade. Many events we are doing together with Martrade. Welcome, Mr. Muhammad Imran Razi.
Thank you, Mr. Selva.
Yeah, thank you. These are our very top-notch speakers here today. We have chosen them. They can give us very good insight about what is happening at this current situation and how they can help us, to plan our strategy, how to recover from this this pandemic and also this disruption which has happened to this industry, MICE industry. Okay, before that, I would like to introduce Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are established 1928. It is already 93 years in existence. We are very established. We are one of the Indian Chamber of Commerce in the country, which are very much established. We have our own premises in Tunku Abdul Rahman, a 4-story building. And we have our president, Dato' Ramanathan, who is, I hope he will join us today. But he asked me to do the opening. He's supposed to do the opening today. And then in the ESCO, we have our myself, Deputy President, Vice President is Dr. Navamani. And then we have our Honorary Secretary General who is present as a moderator today, Mr. Nivas Raghavan. And then we have our Treasurer, Mr. Kumaraguru. And then I would like to say we have 18 elected council members and all of us having some portfolio, and we organize event, we do a lot of activities for our members benefit as a whole, and also not only Indian business community, any other Malaysians who would like to participate in our events who are always welcome. Yeah, and then I must say that our portfolio was headed by Miss Morgana. She's our MICE, I can say MICE, MIC meeting incentive, the event. She herself is an event. She is the main person who proposed this event, who put a lot of effort in organizing today's event. We must say thank you to Ms. Morgana. She's a chairman for this event, MICE, for representing in our committee council. And we have 6 advisors in our council, 18 plus 24, 18 plus 6, 24 council members. Everybody have a role portfolio. We have an international trade portfolio. We have a domestic trade portfolio. We have events, and then we have a membership. We have even women representative and youth and many other portfolios we have. Continuously, we are doing program. We want to help our members, and this pandemic time, everybody is suffering. And Chamber is the main dialogue partner with the government, and with any problems, members' problem, we bring up very aggressively in the media and all this. And then we have got a lot of help from the government. Thank you for the current PN government, who has given us a lot of incentive grants, and even Human Resource Ministry like this Priyatin and Permakasa and all this kind of thing. So we thank you very much. I think today's topic is disruption and evolution. How our members who are suffering now. These speakers here today, I think the moderator will moderate the event such a way that get all this knowledge and experience from these speakers today to find a solution. Find a solution for all our members, and also those Malaysians out there who are in the MICE industry, to benefit and see how they can evolve and strategize their business once the pandemic is over, and do
has disrupted the ecosystem of the business sustainability. What happened is the event industry is one of the badly impacted industry. The MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and also exhibition, as well as the private and corporate sectors, and also weddings and entertainments here has been badly impacted. Since March 18, when the movement control order suspended the international travel and most interstate movement within the country, the meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, private and corporate events has been completely halted. Well, according to Markios statistics, in 2019, ladies and gentlemen, a total of 1,025 business events which was organized in 2019, which has attracted approximately 540,000 international travelers to Malaysia. This has actually contributed approximately 3.9 billion in direct expenditure to the country, and also generated an economic impact of 9.2 billion. Whereas in 2020, 1,250 business event has been cancelled, resulting in unprecedented economic loss over 1.75 billion, with many members and industry players having zero income beginning this year, according to Markios. Well, the movement control order not only ended the inbound and outbound travel, it has just shut the entire industry from booming. Well, today, even if a simple challenge like Hari Raya, Deepawali functions or company annual dinners cannot be held, Markios has actually revealed that 92% of its members is suffering, and there is an estimated revenue loss of between 3 to 4 billion for cancelled events last year and this year. Well, now, today what we are going to do, as mentioned by our Deputy President just now, was to address the challenges, the evolution hereafter, and the government role, especially Tourism Malaysia, as well as Martrade, in facilitating and assisting the industry to sustain and also to be subsidized to enable them to rebound and continue with their businesses. Our first speaker would be Mr. Jagarao Simancha from Agenda Surya Communication. Our second speaker would be Mr. Jonathan, or most famously known as Jiggy John, who will be talking about the virtual and hybrid event. This is where we will be incorporating on the adaptability of Industry 4.0, which has been recently launched as a policy by the government on the 1st of March. And the third speaker, Mr. Iskandar Mirza bin Muhammad Yusuf, will be addressing on Malaysian Tourism Board's proactive measures, grants, assistances to be rendered to the industry stakeholders, as well as Mr. Mohammad Imran Radzi from Madrid. He would be addressing on the market development grant, which is the grant to subsidize a portion of the cost for the business of industry, event industries, or event industries who would like to diversify into other businesses, they can actually look into this option as well. So let us start with our first speaker. Our first speaker would be Mr. Jagarao. Let me give you an introduction of Mr. Jagarao before I pass the floor to him. Agenda Surya Communications Sdn Bhd started its journey in the year of 2001 from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's a renowned event organizing company. Mr. Jagarao Simancha is the owner and MD of this company. Its annual flagship events like the Global Indian Festival in June and a shopping carnival named Deepali Carnival runs for 14 days, successful 14 days. It also hosted the Penang International Indian Events and the Indian Wedding Fair. It has also organized corporate events and promotional activities for many multinational companies like Astro, Hotlink, MRCB, Porodua, THR Raga, Indian Traditional Medicine Conference, Celcom, Nestle, Tourism Malaysia, and others. Besides their main event services, it also offers many in-house creative services and production services. It aims to provide a cost-effective event management solutions to its client, thus leaving a lasting impression on its guests. We are also proud to say here that Mr. Jagarao has won numerous business awards. I would like to invite Mr. Jagarao Simancha, who is also a council member of Markios, to address the challenges faced by the event industry today, so that we can go to the next segment later and find an affirmative action plan for how to support and also give a sustainable effort to the event stakeholders. Mr. Jagarao.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I think it's a very timely effort by Kuala Lumpur Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce for having this. I think it's not only us, I think Malaysia, but I think the whole world, I think, facing big challenges that how to overcome the challenges in these organizing events throughout this particular pandemic, and how actually the exit plan to have been planned. Thank you very much. Have you seen that at the moment, throughout the whole entire periods, I think since 18th of March, when the pandemic has hit the world, it has given bigger backslash for entire industry throughout the world, and this has given a big halt, especially the tourism industry, especially in Malaysia. As you know, that in this region, the biggest contributors and also revenue earners like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, they are mainly depending on the tourism, and tourism became one of the major contributors for the GDP for these three countries. If you see that Malaysia received about 25 million, and Thailand receiving about 35 million, and Singapore receiving about 10 to 12 million per year. And all total, if you see that, is almost looking about 70 to 80 million. this is beginning to be very high representations of tourism industry throughout on the region. And out of this is actually many business travelers have coming to these three countries actually for them to promote their businesses. And if you see these regions compared to any of the region, these three countries actually representing the ASEAN, and ASEAN having almost about 700 million population. And this have given a bigger halt, and nobody actually have prepared for these particular shocks that whatever things has happened. And this is actually have given so much of a backslash and also a shock for the industry itself. As you see just now that what Mr. Nivas have said just now, in 2015 to 2017, the whole entire business event in Malaysia actually have contributed on the economic impact is about 114.2 billion. And this has given a direct expenditure of 48.8 billion. And this have attracted almost 500 over thousands business travelers. And in 2019, the numbers of business held is actually 1,138, and this has contributed 9.2 billion for the economy impacts, and also the direct expenditure 3.9 billion, and it's have attracted almost about 700,000 visitors actually to this country. And if you see that industry workforce, permanent industry workforce, we have almost about 33,000 people who are working, and the part-timers is about 56,900 people. And if you see last year, the numbers of event actually have dropped from 1,138 to 197, and if you see the revenue drop is actually almost about 90%, and industry loss is about 2.25 billion, and event cancellation more than 1,550. And as at now, I see almost about 17% the market layoff has happened on that at the moment. So this is actually given a very negative impact for the whole entire industry. And what is an exit out? Because the problem is actually we have many dialogues with the government, and also the problem is we are the first to stop and also last to start. This is actually the issue that happening for the entire industry, and it's a very sad part that we have been organizing many events like even the furniture fair, we have a food fair, we have even DSA, many things. So all have to be in halt or even cancelled, has been postponed continuously for the past since 2020. And at the moment, I think MICEP has given a very good support for the whole entire industry. They actually have came out with my Made in Malaysia's events benefits, who actually supporting many Malaysian companies who's actually to organize an event locally, because while waiting for the borders to be open. And at the moment, the last opening of the industry in last year and also recently about 2 months, some of the event industries people is able to organize some event, but against the whole entire thing close again. So we are hoping actually the industry actually can come back again in a better way, because I always believe that this industry has been there almost more than 170 years. It started in 1851 actually in London, and it's going on. And this industry, the exhibition and the trade event is actually a backbone for any countries for them to showcase actually whatever product that what they have. That is actually an economic impact. That's why I see that how Matrade playing a very bigger roles on them, actually helping many exhibitors. And we should thanks to Matrade. Actually, recently we had a meeting with them, and also we have the webinar. They actually came out some of that incentive to support for the events all to be held on the webinars at the moment. For all the event has been endorsed by Matrade itself. So I think this is how we wanted to go on. And like I said again, this is not only affecting event in management itself, also for the wedding industry. Wedding industry also we have more than 2,000 industry player. The industry players who are actually involved in many industry. You're talking about caterings, we are talking about hall owners, we are talking about cameramans, we have talking about videographer, we are talking about ma'andam, we are talking about beautician, we are talking about people who are carrying out the transports and everything. All of them is affected. So this is actually something we hope that the pandemics can be over very soon, because without an event, I think it's very difficult for them to go on. And we hope that with the vaccinations is going on, we should be able to come out this very soon.
So, Mr. Jagarao, thanks for your brief introduction on the challenges. Well, I would like to get Mr. Jagarao to also address on how is the performance of since we invited you personally, of Agenda Surya before and now, how many percent it has dropped tremendously? And what are the challenges that you personally have felt in your business struggle?
We actually have been actively been promoting South Asia's countries to ASEAN region and making Malaysia as the hub for the whole region. And we've been organizing majorly two events. It's actually the Global Indian Festival and also Deepavali Carnival, who actually focusing on how making Malaysians businessmen actually connecting to India and also vice versa. We work with the High Commission of India in Kuala Lumpur, with the Ministry of Commerce of India, with the support of MITI as well. So we've been actively doing this good actually until 2019. And if you see that in 2020, we have drops almost by 90%. So we only have 10%. And 2021, basically, we have canceled all our events. And what we are doing at the moment, mostly we are doing on the virtual events now. We have organized almost about 4 virtual events between Malaysia and India, and we have so more to come on the virtual event. But the problems of the virtual events is actually the take-up rates and also the sustainability of the peoples to be there is very, very challenging. But I think that is the new norm that everybody have to take up. So this is what we are trying to do. Then, like I say that we are waiting. I always believe that over the 150 years, that every 20 years, there is one market breakthrough, one financial turbulence will happen. And if you see that the last financial crisis 20 years ago in 1998, we came back very strong. After 1986 also, we came back very strong. After 1974, I think, so also we came back very strong. I think we also will come back very strong after this. It's like a tsunami kind of thing. So the only important part, actually, everybody must survive this particular pandemic actually until it's over. We believe that, I think, before end of the year, I think the whole thing can be over.
Well, I believe not everybody can sustain or resist the challenges like a big company like you do, but the SMEs or the micro event planners are the ones that are worstly hit because they organize the weddings, small entertainments, so small private and corporate functions. So all this has been restricted during this moment for the past nearly going to be 1.5 years. So the challenges that they are now in, they have diversified into different businesses. They have gone, and I don't think they will come back here anymore. So the one that is going to be sustaining are probably the big boys that could resist with their existing cash flows, and the small medium enterprises that has the capacity to sustain over a period of years without any challenges. But those who have migrated into the virtual and hybrid, which will be spoken by Mr. Jonathan later, they are the ones that are currently sustaining the businesses. That even then, they are not actually hitting their actual potential revenue. They are merely probably breaking even in a smaller scale. So other things that we have questions here from the floor is what are the major threat at the moment that is going to be faced by this industry? How many percent is going to be wiped off that you foresee?
It's a good question. Actually, what happened, the biggest challenges actually happen, it's the biggest company compared to the smallest company, because the biggest company have a bigger, manpowers to sustain. And just imagine that the few companies have been organizing such a big event in KLCC, in MITEC, in many bigger places that you have let's say you have a manpowers of permanent staff, more than 50 people or 70 people, and your permanent, you're paying almost about 300, 400,000, and suddenly you're unable to do the event. So for you to sustain for 18 months until today is actually a big challenges. Who actually you're supposed to lay off and who you're supposed to keep. The moment that you lay off the persons who are experienced, then you will have a problem because he's getting him back. So this is actually the biggest challenges that happen. And at this particular moment, the sustainability and also surviving, I think, is the most important things at the moment. And like you are told me just now that actually it's give that many people actually have gone into a different business and doing different things. The sad part is actually, like I say, that not the sad part or advantageous part, being one of the major countries who are focusing on the tourism, and the tourism has become a number third GDP contributor to the country every year. So tourism's industry has badly affected, again I'm saying. So this is actually have to be deeply hurt by many industry players. So it crossed the board from the bottom to the top, the one who happened. So luckily that actually the hybrid events and also the virtual event have came into the picture actually to help the people, but it's that also you cannot came back again as how you're natural. But it's again I'm saying because the R&D is very important. Every 20 years there is one biggest landslides of the business, everything will come through. I believe this is actually another landslide through came in who actually into a new norm that you're going to come. But the exhibition and although the trade events definitely will be there because it started a few thousand years ago. So if you see that the traders from China, from India, and so many people come and they're doing this whole selling to the people from Parameswara times and everything. But the one definitely will not go so. But the challenges that how they wanted to sustain, I think at this particular moment, everybody actually have to do it something out of the norm that how actually to sustain. That is most important. And I believe that, I really believe that we can come back stronger on this. After these phenomena have been over, everybody will start traveling, everybody also will start buying, everybody also start purchasing and everything. I think we will definitely get stronger. So I believe that is stronger. But like I'm saying that the sustaining power from now until to the end, before we restart the whole entire thing, that is the most important. I think government doing giving so much of effort actually to reviving and also to help across all the industry. And recently, if you see that under the recent scheme announced by the Prime Minister, he have covered the tourism industry as well. So I think that is a very laudables for the people, and actually is actually have helped many people across the industry.
Well, actually, Mr. Jekaro, there's a supply chain for this event industry, from the event organizer till probably the logistic provider. So every supply chain has been, the cascaded effect has actually hit till the people on the ground. For example, Indian wedding, till the person who's selling garland would have been impacted badly. So the whole industry as a whole, this whole ecosystem of the event industry, not only event industry, but the whole industry of business world today has been totally disrupted. And do you see that mostly many event organizers today have diversified their business or have liquidated their business? What is the what do you call Marcus? What are the Marcus recent studies have seen that how many % of the event industry people have actually diversified into different unrelated businesses?
Actually, again, the sustainability across the board is very, very, very important, I guess. And how they wanted to see that the light of the end of the tunnels that everybody is saying that is very, we can't see at the moment. The only way is that actually once you've done the herd immunity for the whole entire country, I think then only you can move forward. And the sad part, like I say, that we are the first to close but last to open. And again said, we are actually the one, the trade fairs and an exhibition industry who actually the one who are the most following the SOPs stated by us, means we start stating the SOP, and we the one who following on that. At the moment that we are putting that, if any exhibitions that we are putting at 50% of the photo capacity, then every 4 square meters we only put 2 persons kind of thing. And at the moment until today, that we do not have any clusters that created by the event industry, which is proudly we can say that. But against that, we are very much organized, and also we followed strictly the SOP that whatever we have done. But eventually, when you cancel the event, when you cannot have the event, the supply chains have affected across the board, from the top to the bottom. Everybody have affected. Like you're saying that, let's say we are saying that the wedding industry is not only about Malays and also Indian, which very much on organizing part. We are talking about the caterers, or you're talking the Malay garlands suppliers, and you're talking about the car rental, you're talking about the caterers and everything. Everything got affected. But the recent studies by Masios itself for our members and everything, most of them are doing different business and different kind of activities to make them sustain, with the hope that we really starts again. But the only thing is, we are hoping to the government that when you're going to the phase 2 or phase 3 and phase 4, we hope that government can give us some leeways that to open up in the phase 3, but with a stricter SOP for them. That's very, very important to save this industry. If you don't do that, what will happen that we will lose a lot of experienced players, experienced companies, and experienced manpower in these particular countries. So the revival is very, very important. And once you do that, at least you give a leeways for the people and also for the companies, for them to pursue the things. At the moment, it's very difficult for them, because if you're involved in the industry for 25 years and 30 years, and you ask them to do something very new, it is very, very difficult, because their experience is basically in the event management, or even in the wedding industry. You're talking about across the board. If he become a tourist guide for almost 20 years, you can't be able to ask him to do something different. So that is that what we are trying to hope the government to understand on our plight at the moment.
Well, I was also looking at recently the Europe and US, where they have opened up the businesses, events are being organized. Even recently, the stadiums were full, because vaccination is almost completed in other countries like Europe and US, where we are still far behind. So that is one key indicator where government is not allowing, I think, the event industry, which attracts a lot of public, I believe. So I think this will be more of our affirmative, proactive action plan that we should recommend to the government on this, so that the event industries should be resumed or rescinded again in the phase 3 or phase 4, as you suggested, Mr. Jacob. So do we have any questions from the floor? Any participants would like to address?
Yeah, moderator, Mr. Nivas, can I just...
Yeah, Mr. Silva?
Jack, I would like to raise one question. Our members are SMEs mostly, yeah? Some are micro businesses doing who are in this MICE industry. Okay, I have a case like they have rented halls. They are not as big as yours. They have rented, so your problem is bigger problem. But they have rented halls, and they call us. What can they do? See, one way is to sustain, take a bank loan and all this. But end of the day, the money you take is going to be finished. End of the day, you are stuck with the bank loan, and then you have to pay back. Okay, that is another issue. But how these people can use their facility before they just give up the business? How they can use that facility? They got a small hall. They got our members. We know our members. They are paying monthly rental and all that. They also facing difficulty. What other alternatives? Any suggestion for you for them to sustain at the moment? There is also a member whom I know. He has proposed to this vaccination team in the country to rent out the hall for this vaccination. That is thinking outside the box. So maybe you can give us idea to the members here, or this recorded program. Probably whoever look at this recorded program maybe can get some idea from you as a businessman, how you can help this kind of SMEs. Not only this one issue, other issue.
You mean
second question is the cost. What is the main cost apart from manpower and the renting of the hall? Event management companies, what are the main costs that they can't sustain now? These are two things we can cover this topic. Thank you very much, Jack.
You mean that the owner of the halls?
Yeah, the owner of the halls, but some are not big. They have a capacity of, let's say, 10,000 square foot. They are doing weddings and all that in the hall. Some are having like maybe 3,000 square foot. They are having conference meetings, small events. Engagement program. A small food engagement, providing food and all that kind of program. They spend money. They are paying rental. So, any idea what can the big boys, like example, can the big boys consolidate with them and give them some opportunity to sustain until this pandemic is over, something like that?
Actually, it's a very difficult question. Very difficult question. Because at the moment, I think nobody can do even a gathering more than 5 people or 10 people at the moment. Anybody can do. So I think this is actually have been stated by MKN's guidelines and SOP that nobody can gather. The only suggestions that I'm looking at, actually, many people, actually, convention centers at the moment actually have been converted to become a PPV. And they can go, actually what the PPV is, actually they have a certain guidelines that you must have different exit and also different entries kind of thing. And also they have a certain minimum requirement for them to become the PPV for that. They always can go and apply with the MKN and actually offer themselves, because I think they're looking as much as possible venue at the moment. And this is what actually we can do it. On the exit part, how actually they want to do it, actually is very difficult. So it became a very difficult for everybody to sustain. That's why that with the government, that what they have given, the problem is actually most of that venue owners now actually having a problem that they can't operate. So especially so the people who are renting their halls or actually their Dewan or whatever from the third parties kind of thing, they can't operate. But some of them, they're still charging the rental to them. I think that is the biggest issue that facing by many people. So this has been going on since March 18 last year. So some of them giving even 50%, some of them was given even 30% discount. But even that also, what happened, because continuous lockdown and also uncertain notice of closures in make many event managers and also the venue holders have to cancel the functions and weddings and everything at the very last minute. And the supply chains is actually the moment you pay the deposit, normally you have to pay some deposit to your caterers, to your deco guys, your caterers. So this is actually the biggest problem that everybody been facing. Then also about can address about that the refunds problems as well. So this pandemic is actually, we can say that if you go into the legal clause, it's a force majeure. Force majeure means you don't know that actually is going to happen. So what we are trying to address is actually we are still having a negotiations. Again, many people said negotiations were talking to the owners, and recent government's announcement that they're giving a 30% tax incentive for any owners is actually giving a discount. Actually still welcome, but actually it's not enough because the percentage is so small. So we hope that government can look into these matters as well, because this is also helping how actually to help many people, not on the directly on the cash, but probably can give a higher percentage of rebates in the tax methods, so actually to the owners. And I think this is not only applicable for the event managers, but I think also for the officers who are actually renting the office from the third parties landlord, because some of them not allowing, we have been closed, but they're still charging 100% whatever. So I think KLCK should take this matter seriously and also advise to the government that to help many SMEs. And SMEs are contributing 97.5% of any country's GDP. So it's very important that for us to save this group of people.
Thank you, Mr. Jagarao. Thank you, Mr. Selvam, for the question. Well, I was also wondering, Mr. Jagarao, through the Penjana, Pemulih, Permai, and Pemerkasa, and now Pemulih stimulus packages, where there are a lot of aids for the employers, like wage subsidy to subsidize their salary paid workers, and now there's no capping of 4,000. Secondly, on the moratorium on loans, especially on the lease of equipments from banks, whatever financing that they have obtained, and also the insurances. Is there any insurances taken for the cancellation of events to protect the event organizers on any force majeure situation, like what you highlighted earlier? And also the last part, your event organizing industry members, are they taking into adopting the 30% rental reduction by their respective landlords? Are they getting a positive feedback on that? And what is the adoption of all these government Pemulih aid packages now? Like what I mentioned earlier on the wage subsidy, moratorium, are they actually getting benefit out of this?
Actually on the wage subsidy definitely will help, and also the government's recent announcement that not capping on the $4,000 definitely will be helpful to the to the employers at large, because previously it's only given the staff below of 4,000 ringgit. Now at the moment they increase it to actually to no what is that, the no cap at all. This definitely help, and also the moratorium also is definitely going to be helpful, because at this particular moments that with the EMCO especially has been held, actually in Selangor and so Kuala Lumpur, everything stand halt. Nothing's the income. So actually, it's not only for the companies and also for the staff as well. Many companies have laid off the staff. Some of them actually have taken staff. What is that? The deductions of 50%. Some of them is actually working without paid. So this is all the problems has happened. So the 6 months moratorium and also the wage subsidy definitely be very, very helpful to the people. On the percentage, that's how many companies that actually still going on and doing some other things as well. The percentage is actually because it's very clear that nobody is doing the events at the moment, and we are trying to help as the industry as much as possible. And the whole entire committee team at the moment, we have many discussions and also many meetings, especially myself being our representative from that Malaysian Tourism MOTAC. Actually, myself actually been helping us actually in many sectors, and that's why that we came out with this safe the convention center campaign. If you see that about 3 months ago, which is actually we wanted to make sure to tell to the industry that the convention center is actually the backbones of the industry. Without the convention center, is actually the industry will not be sustained. So that's the reason as we did it that, and the response for that particular campaign was very overwhelming. Many people actually have looked at and asked what this is all about. And at this moment now, many convention center, big convention center now is helping, especially on the vaccination centers, especially we see MITAC, we see that PWTC, KLCC, City Convention Center, all of them is actually taking big and also helping to the government to ensure that the effort of the government to vaccinate Malaysians at large to be successful and also to be completed as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Jagarao, on highlighting on the challenges faced by the event industry today, and also on the affirmative actions that has been taken by the event industry players and also the supply chain management. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a good session. I hope that
we will, if you're around later, we will have the Q&A from the floor.
Sure, I'll be here. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for your patience in getting the information from Mr. Jagarao today on the challenges faced by the event industry. And next, we have a very good speaker, Mr. Jonathan Sivaratnam, or more familiarly known as Jiggy John. Well, Mr. Jiggy John, I'll just give a brief introduction before handing over the floor to him. He is currently, Mr. Jiggy John, there is currently the, event producer and a corporate entertainer, academically certified as a digital event strategist and a virtual event management. He is awarded as top 25 event planners as well. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Jonathan Sivaratnam, or more familiarly known as Mr. Jiggy John, to take over the floor to address on the virtual and hybrid events evolution, and also the adaptability on IR 4.0, especially on the artificial intelligence, IoT, and big data in event industry. Thank you, Mr. Jiggy John.
Thanks, Nivas, and thank you so much to the organizers for this opportunity. So, as mentioned by the MC, I've been in the events industry for 21 years and counting, technically 25 when I started as an entertainer. My event agency turned 20 last year. And just when I was gearing up for an exciting year, I had events lined up in Bali, in Bangkok, in Singapore, across Malaysia, Langkawi. You know, I do events across Southeast Asia. I was ready for an exciting year. Woohoo! We were all geared up. January, we were still pumping. February, we were still pumping. And then the wall came crashing down. I lost my entire year of live events. I'm not going to go into the details because I had just done a really big event in December for AirAsia. I was on stage with Black Eyed Peas. You're coming from that high in 2019, and then 2020 just hits you like a roller coaster, and it's still ongoing. So I am in the same journey like all of you. When all you have known is only live events, your world completely shatters. Okay, you are left lost, you don't know what's going on, and you're knocking your head on the wall, you're pulling your hair out, and all sorts of evil. So when this happened in March, when we went into our first lockdown, I was lost. I was honestly stuck. I don't know what to do. My cancellation of all confirmed events for 2020 just kept coming in one after another after another. And after a few weeks of, initially the lockdown was like yay holiday for us event planners because we never get a day off. So after 3 weeks of Netflixing and chilling and binging and all that drama, we had to wake up to reality when the cancellations kept coming and coming. And that's when I started looking at the market in the West and realizing there was a buzzword on virtual events. Now, before that, we would never dream of even doing something like this virtually, because events is all about social interaction and live in-person opportunities. So the concept of virtual is just nothing that we're going to even remotely consider, especially for us here in Asia and Malaysians, Singaporeans, whatever. Anyways, so I did a lot of R&D. I sat down with my team and we spent the whole of May and June just completely learning, unlearning, and learning. We had to unlearn this concept of live event productions and we had to learn virtual event productions. So we went live with our first virtual event in July, and now exactly 1 year later, I have literally produced events for clients from around the world. I've had clients from France, from Spain, from all across Southeast Asia, actually from across Asia Pacific. Last week I ran a forum for Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos. And we had participants, 423 people from 23 countries. Now, if I didn't switch and pivot to virtual, I would still be here just entertaining my fellow rakyat, and we would all be having a hee-hee-ha-ha session, but very much localized. So I'm here to share my story. I came from depths of depression, and I'm happy to openly say that, because I know as fellow event planners, we have all been there and done that. That I embraced something new, a scary new, and now 1 year later, it has become, you know, a super exciting thing. Obviously, we're affected by what's going on now, where we can't even go to the studios. We're stuck at home. This is me in my home studio after some major conversion. And the point is, you know, our hands are still being tied. But that being said, I've been able to recreate and continue, because my story here today and the organizers, when they invited me, was to encourage you, my fellow event planners, for those of you who don't know anything else. Like, I have been eating, sleeping, and breathing events. Like, a lot of my friends started doing this side business cooking this that I can't cook to save my life, okay? And I don't know anything else. All I know is entertaining people and producing events. So it was obviously the natural way for me to go that I switched to virtual events. So I'm going to share a few case studies of actual events that we produced with some videos, and I'm more than happy to take questions after that. I'm just here to share my story so that if it can encourage you to even take that leap of faith and even do, you know, try to do a virtual event or produce, or more importantly, if you need the help, I'm happy to support. I'm actually supporting a lot of other event companies and PR agencies and communication agencies who don't know what virtual events is. Now, as mentioned by the MC, I'm the only Malaysian who's dual certified. I sat for 2 certifications last year in the US. So I am literally certified to run virtual events. So that being said, let me just share with you, and along the way, if you've got any questions, guys, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm gonna walk you through some case studies of actual events that we've run, some stats, some behind the scene pictures, and I will later show you some videos of these same events for you to understand what am I talking about here. So these are actual events that we've run, and you know, I'm going to explain to you the journey behind it. Now, we started off this year, we did a big event for Prudential, 2,300 people. So we built our own custom microsite, and we had the CEOs of Prudential and Pru BSN with our MC Ellen Bly in our studio. This is our studio, which is actually originally my office. I happily converted it into a studio. So you see, we need to think out of the box. We have to survive with what we have. You know, originally I was running around like a mad fleur looking up to set up a studio like every Tom, Dick and Harry in town. But then I realized I've got my own space. Let me just work with it. So this being said, we converted it into a studio, and now we run most of our events here. So we did this. We had 2,300 people on it. And you know, Prudential literally Googled us and onboarded us. In this last 1 year, none of my old clients except for 1 or 2 came back to us. You know, we have done virtual events for every single client brand new. So what is that meaning? That we have created a new opportunity and gained new clients simply because we were brave enough to step out into the unknown and to take that leap of faith. All right, so Prudential was a brand new client. So this is the custom microsite. It began with registration. So here's the fun thing. In going into virtual, I'm so fired up because I've started learning new things. So we've developed a 3D platform, this microsite, and we're constantly using more virtual event platforms. In fact, now we've got 10 platforms. We offer different solutions to different clients. We don't just force them to do a Zoom event or a Microsoft Teams event or a Google Meet. That's like kindergarten level. Okay, we have gone way further, which is why we're running a lot of virtual international events, because clients love these solutions that we bring to the table. We produced a global conference for Airbus, and this is the one I mentioned. We had the CEO in France, we had top leadership from Spain, Singapore, Hong Kong, everybody weighed in. This is a country head of Airbus, and he also served as the MC. He was in our studio, and he gave us a glowing report, said this was, you know, first of all, it's brand new, and a lot of clients, this is going to be their first virtual event in this last 1 year and into this year. So, you know, we were able to land clients and accounts and big brands like this because we jumped into that sphere. All right. For EPF, which has been one of our anchor clients for many years, we've been doing their conference physically in hotels around KL. Last year, we managed to build a 3D platform, and we ran their conference for 1,700 of the employees from around Malaysia. We built a desktop version and a mobile version. So it's a 3D immersive platform where you can actually join the event, have auditorium halls, expo halls, networking lounges, the whole 9 yards. We've got an on-demand gallery like a library, and we're already talking to them for the next event. And the same platform we used for Airbus. So, you know, this is just to share with you. Now, we've also done a lot of virtual annual dinners, believe it or not. So this was Mitsubishi Malaysia. We ran their annual dinner virtually, and their CEO, their CFO, and I can't remember who the other gentleman was, they came into the studio, and I had these Japanese guys catwalking, salsaing, dancing on webcam. If you think it's not possible, and for the employees of Mitsubishi, they were recording from their phones on their webcams. They couldn't believe that their most steady Japanese bosses were actually super cool. So the point is, I've shown you conferences, and I'm showing you an annual party. We've done parties on Teams, on Zoom, you know, and so it is very, very possible, guys, okay? And these are just some of the sample backends. You know, we're doing fun themes, we do talent shows, we play games, we interact. There's so many opportunities. What we used to do in a live event setting, we have converted it into the virtual setting. And believe you me as an MC, especially as a virtual MC, I get 100% attendance. You know why? I tell you why. The formula is simple. In a live audience, human beings will run for their lives, hide under the table, play with their phone when the MC is looking for participation. Virtual, everyone's a keyboard warrior. Malaysians are masters of being keyboard warriors. So now when you play games virtually, everyone will comment, everyone will say something, everybody is very smart, suddenly very brave. But as an MC, that's what you want. So I actually enjoy the engagement I get from a virtual audience, which I have to work 50 times harder in a live audience. I mean, I can do it, I'm perfectly fine with that, but I love it that now the most shyest people are not so shy anymore because they're all hiding at home behind their computers on keyboards. And so it is very, very possible. It's very powerful. This was a big conference we did for Shell. We had their leadership team from Hong Kong, we had teams from Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore. So the point is, this was our first big Teams production. We've used Zoom the most. Why we use Teams or Zoom is because we like two-way interaction. Now, a lot of our custom event platforms, there's not much two-way involved. So here we had leadership team, some of them in the studio, most of them online, and they got to see their people on the big screen. So these are little things like, this allowed me to work with my team so that the AV guys had opportunities to bring out their sound and lights, their LED, and obviously not every client's going to have this kind of money. But the point is, I show this to you so you know that you can still bring your creative thought processes that you may have had from a live event, you can bring it into the virtual event setting, okay? These are just some of the, the looks and feels. So, essentially the work that goes into a virtual event is the same. You've got videos to prepare, you've got, visuals to do, slides, there's still long service awards, there's still lucky draws, there's still, all sorts of employee engagement. All that happens and it continues. You don't stop that. So when you've had the experience in live events and you bring it into the virtual sphere, same but different. It's essentially the same psyche of production work that goes into it. Yeah. So essentially, these are just some of the case studies. Now I'm going to share with you some videos so that, just to highlight what I was just sharing with you. And do allow me to just very quickly share the videos, and then I'm very happy to take some questions as well. I hope this is helpful, and I'm going to show you one video right here. And there we go.
Getting jiggy with it.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us live at our Airbus Malaysia Connect webinar. We are most grateful and privileged to have our Senior Minister of the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali, to give his keynote address.
Malaysia is home to Airbus' largest source of suppliers in Southeast Asia and one of its top 5 sources of composite parts worldwide. I'm pleased to know that Airbus has been our partner for the most part of this journey, and we look forward to a bright future for this relationship.
The topic of today's track 3 is helicopters outlook post-19. As you know, helicopter operation is very important in Malaysia, both in economic and also well-being of the people.
Malaysia wishes to capitalize on this growing space economy and welcomes the participation of internationally recognized partners like Airbus to support our nation's ambitions in this final frontier.
Special is security and intelligence, a country that can decide by itself.
Asia Pacific is North Asia, Southeast Asia and the Pacific.
So it is very important for us to continue pioneering this Airbus, especially the pioneer for this sustainable future.
Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long return. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Airbus Malaysia Connect webinar. Signing off. Have a great evening ahead. See you soon.
So that was our. Let me just show you one more video. Okay, hold on. This is going to be the Shell event that I talked about, and you get to see a look and feel of how you would do it on Teams.
Getting jiggy with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distribution Operations Conference Southeast Asia 2021.
We should be able to run a very successful conference by joining the two together. And we will not take away all the celebration and the fun for these two conferences.
I believe with the experience, with the know-how, the technical know-how, and with the people that we have, we can certainly make a lot of changes in the coming years.
So right now, I'm going to give you a chance for 10 of you to win some vouchers. So everybody go ahead and scan the code and go to this site. And the answer is 206.
There's a lot of demand on energy. Energy will be scarce, as well as the other future pressures of managing our stakeholders. And if you take that all into account, these are some of the key items that drive Shell to have a climate target.
As
as what Chris has shared earlier, kind of giving the taste, the flavor of what are the baby steps. And let's take one food at a time.
If I look at the volatile gases that we release, it's just from the storage and handling of our food.
And I look forward to continuing generating those ideas together, having those collaboration discussions, albeit maybe not face-to-face now, but it will come. And what I look forward to the most is sharing success with you when we do this again.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to another award. This is the Shipping and Maritime Appreciation Award, Best in Operational Performance. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, MT Aquabel. 2020 Best Haulier Southeast Asia winner goes to Preparia Sendirian Berhad.
It's wonderful to see everyone even it virtually. One of these days, inshallah, when our country has progressed on the vaccination route, we should be able to see one another again. And I look forward to that beautiful day.
That was our Shell event, and now I'll just share with you just one more if we have time, and this is to show you how an annual dinner event would run. Okay, so this is something we did for RB Health, and after that I'm happy to take questions and see if anyone has any questions or
an amazing team. I'm so proud with the team. I'm so proud with all of you guys, with all the things that we achieved together. We managed beyond what we have ever dreamed of in an extremely difficult environment.
Best of all, year to date, Gentlee's market share for the digestive category jumped to a whopping 46.3% from 25.8%. So tremendous achievement by the medical sales team. I'm really extremely proud that Dettol has become the #1 personal wash brand in Malaysia, overtaking Lifebuoy.
All the new recruitments, all the talent upgrades in this company, we did everything online. All onboardings done virtually. It's a great achievement for us.
I hope that we are going to have a fantastic 2021 as well, and we are going to have a wonderful party next year, but then all together.
All right, so I'm done. Anybody has any questions?
Oh, well, it's really mind-blowing. It's really amazing.
I mean, that was just a quick share. So, I mean, coming from nothing, losing all your live events, and then going to virtual, there's possibilities, guys. There's tons of possibilities, and I'm not even showing you half of it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah.
Well, actually, due to the disruption which has forced you to migrate to totally digitalized world where you have globally connected the entire ecosystem to a virtual platform.
Yeah.
Well, I believe not everybody can migrate into this because you need to have the tech ability as well as the capacity to do this. Am I right, Mr. Jiggy, John?
Yeah, I mean, we've had the chance to work with my studios in Manila, in Bangkok, in Singapore, even in Jakarta and Bali, I mean, Hong Kong. So honestly, now the world is at your doorstep. In fact, recently, an event agency from Barcelona reached out to us and we gave them event support services for an event in Malaysia and Singapore because they were running a conference. They had delegates in our side of town. We assisted them with the goodie bags and things like that. So you see, the world has just become so small. Right now, we have to collaborate globally. So this is the power of virtual events.
So you can basically sit in Malaysia and even organize an event in US or Europe for that.
Definitely. In fact, I have been attending, and I'm still attending even tonight. Yeah, at midnight. I do a lot of. I attend a lot of conferences, and because it's morning in America, it's midnight for us. So like a mad fool, I'll be like, all googly-eyed. But the point is, you learn a lot from observing other conferences, networking, and seeing how they do things, and all of that. So right now, my world has just become so much smaller. I've got partners, associates in UK, in US, across Europe, and of course, right across Asia.
So I believe people seeing you now get excited. There's a question on what is the investment needed to run an virtual event company? What's an investment?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? It boils down to each client. So we are currently offering solutions. We don't force it down their throat and say, take it or leave it. You can't do that because when we were first to market with a few agencies, now there's probably 100 event companies doing virtual. So obviously it's back to the classic Malaysian pasar malam, lelong session. Everybody is selling. What I may charge 20,000, what Apu will do for 2,000. It's happening. It's inevitable. And to clients who are looking for cheap solutions, they will go with that. Later they'll come running with their tail between their legs. Oh, I'm so sorry. Now I know you paid peanuts, you get a few monkeys. But that being said, there are always going to be different solutions for different clients because one conference can be spun 3 ways. To be honest, most clients, the moment they hear virtual, they only think of one thing. Oh, must have green screen lah. I have converted 10 clients from green screen and show them why you need green screen. And then I show them all the other options. Oh yeah, like even Airbus, they thought they needed a green screen. In the end, I produced it on my 3D platform from my studio in my office with no green screen. So a lot of unknowing clients don't know that virtual events do not equate to green screen productions. So essentially, we have done virtual events, super small budget, super low, fully virtual. Nobody came anywhere. Everybody sat at home. But yet we pushed it out with branding, just like a CNN broadcast, or just like we did an event for Citibank and The Edge. We had speakers from Hong Kong, Singapore, Shanghai, and essentially nobody left their homes or offices, but the final production was with full branding, logo, everything, and we sat in our office and we were able to do that for dirt cheap. And then of course you've seen the giant production like Shell. In fact, there was one more bigger one I forgot to show, and that was where my MC was in Bangkok because of the ties, and we were in KL. Both our studios were live same time, and we had people joining from across Southeast Asia. So that was a big production. And that one, the goodie bag, I'm not going to say who the client was, but they spent 600 ringgit per head. We gave all kind of things food drinks books they were spoiling their stuff. And then we got some clients who got no budget, they give I'm not going to say anything The point is, different clients, different solutions, you have to cater to their needs. You need to listen, and then you need to evaluate with your team and offer the best solution. And when they see the value in that, then you give them the correct solution. So honestly, there's no one solution. That's why I call myself an event technologist, because I study a client's requirements and then I look at my arsenal. What is the best option for them? What is the best solution? Everybody just thinks an event means Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. And that's not true at all. Yeah, so I hope that answers.
Also, the investment on the infrastructure cost that you have currently, because yours could be in a large scale. You want to start somewhere minimum scale.
My office, bro. If you look at my office, it's a puny production. 4 TVs, 1 camera. How expensive is that, lah?
Oh, that's all.
Any bokana can do that. 1 microphone, one PA mixer, jalan lah.
So you feel that is adequate to start up your virtual event?
Of course. I did that for Airbus. 1 camera, 4 TVs. It wasn't a giant studio. It wasn't what I did for for Shell, big LED and all that. That one is different lah. For some clients, they want the wow factor. So essentially now, most clients don't want to spend money. This is why we're giving them a small production package. The key is in the live stream operator, the heart and soul of the event, and the back-end virtual event managers. Because my team behind the scenes, what they do on the computer, what they are managing, they are the heart and soul. So that doesn't cost anything. That is in your management fee. You need to stand for that. Once you have learned, we are the pros, we have the experience. So my management fee is what you're paying me for to run this for you. But the actual investment on hardware and tech is minimal. Okay. So 1 year later now, we have come to realize that most clients have tight budgets, and we understand, we get it. So now, no point we push all this grand, big LED, big studio, immersive, 360, semua tak payah. Not important, not necessary at all. We just give them, so the only thing that we spend on is the one camera, so for most of the time, if I'm the MC, at least it's a nice professional production. Now I'm at home using my webcam. But you can't do this for events, when clients pay you professional. So one camera and a few studio lights and the 4 TVs as previews, minimal operational cost. I'm sure everybody in the group here today and all my fellow event planners, we have access to that. If you don't have it your own, you have a AV partner who will be more than happy to support you. Yes, it's small money, but lama-lama jadi bukit lah. We do this together, we gain experience, we do more and more. Very low startup costs, you see.
Yeah, good to hear that. And I believe, looks like we won't go back to our normal life. This is going to be the future world, right, Mr. Jiggy John?
100%. You know, I mean, last week's forum, my client said we just had 423 people and speakers from Argentina, Belgium, Mongolia, and other parts. And they're like, why would we ever go back to spending big bucks to invite, first of all, fly speakers from all corners of the earth, and then inviting people to come out, take hotel, flight? It made no sense. It made no sense. So if you ask me, especially conferences and meetings, it is going to be hybrid. Like the host nation can physically have it. The locals and those who die want to fly over just to get out of their countries and fly, they will come. But a bulk of the audience is going to join online because it saves time, it saves money. So the future of such events, meetings, conferences, forums, seminars, they are definitely going to continue in the hybrid form.
So the MICE is going to be digitally connected hereafter.
For sure, for sure. I mean, in a way, I feel bad for the large convention centers and the large hotels and you know, travel and all that, because they've made a killing of the MICE industry in the past, you know. But you cannot escape the fact that now hybrid is going to be the way forward. No more fully virtual, but the moment, you know, this becomes an endemic globally, for us it's still a pandemic, our neighbors down south very soon is an endemic. When that happens, it's going to be hybrid. It's definitely going to be hybrid, you know? Yeah.
There are some questions here. What are the challenges on virtual events compared to the grounds?
Okay, the number one challenge is internet. We ourselves found out the hard way. Never ever run your event using Wi-Fi. Tolong. Use a LAN cable, a hardwire connection. Especially the main person who is streaming the event, the live streamer himself, who is the brain of the event, the heart surgeon. They have to be connected and pushing the event, streaming it online to using a hardwire cable. Number two, you need high speeds. You know, I mean, now most of us have pretty decent internet, and thanks to things that happened a few years ago, you know, Unify had to jump up and give us speeds that we were paying for, which is great. So your upload speed should be nothing less than 100. If you're taking the chance and doing 20 Mbps, 50 Mbps, you're asking for trouble. You just don't want to do that. Right now at home, I'm using time.com, so I've got the 1 gig, so I've got 500 upload and 1000 download. I'm pretty good, you know. In the office, we have 800 download, 200 upload. That's the max we can get for now. But it's so far so good lah. So that is number one, internet connection. Number two, speakers need to be prepared. You need to walk them through the event. Don't happily let them come on and do whatever they want, suka hati. Their background tak boleh pakai, baju tak boleh pakai, lighting tak boleh pakai, mic tak boleh pakai. So now I literally spend my time coaching speakers before they go live. It is a big thing. Eye line, sometimes the camera is looking up their nose. All these things, because they are not professional presenters, so they don't know. So our job is to coach them and prepare them so that they look good and sound good on camera. You know, because first of all, they are supposed to be coming in to share and edify and encourage. So that is super important. Then the rest is just the content and constantly looking for new solutions, new tech, new engagement. Audience engagement is the most key, because you know there's a big thing called Zoom fatigue, and it equates itself to virtual event fatigue. The fatigue is real. So how do you make it more fun? How do you interact? How do you engage? That is all important things that people don't realize are super important. And that is something that we bring to the table and we force it down the throats of our clients, and after they're like, oh, thank God we listened to you. I said, tahu tak apa. You know, because if you don't engage with people and the human touch is not there, you've lost your audience. You know, that's the most important actually.
Well, I think the information on the internet connectivity or the infrastructure is very essential because you do not want to have a disruption of service during the live production.
You know, I tell you something. The number one mistake that speakers make: slumber behind them is one window with light coming in, so they all look like ghosts lah. The concept of backlight is lost on normal people. They don't seem to understand that. So sometimes if you tell them, okay, take your laptop, okay, move here, okay, go to this corner, or maybe you can go to that corner, all this kind of drama we are doing with them until we find a good spot where they look good and they sound good. These are things that a lot of people don't realize are super important. We do that. So my event team will literally spend time like kindergarten like that. We will train. It's so interesting lah. My young junior execs have to coach all our senior veterans sometimes, industry leaders, on just how to look and sound good. But these are how the balance has shifted. Virtual events has literally, you know, for the younger workforce, for them it's just another day at work lah. Computer, internet, playing this, playing that, all nothing different for them. So it's very interesting how the shift and the balance and powers has gone now. The empowerment that the younger gen are just getting from this whole shift in the dynamics of the industry.
Well, again, there's a question on, will it be a pre-recorded or live streaming?
Great question. And that is also a huge thing. As much as you can pre-record.
Pre-record.
Conferences, meeting, you know, so like last week we did a forum, all the presentations we pre-recorded. Okay, we recorded the presentations, but the the Q&A, they came in live. The speakers came in live. Because for some of these speakers, their connections were bad. And we understand, working from home, not everyone's going to have a strong connection. We get it. And not everyone's going to have access to a LAN cable. We get it. Because last week, we did an event with a lot of our neighbors in ASEAN who honestly had bad internet. You know, deep parts of Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, so they're not going to have solid internet. So we pre-recorded. Even the pre-recording was a real talevali. We had to record a few times because they dropped off lah, this lah, that lah. So as much as you can, when you can control the event flow, pre-record. Edit it nicely, load it, because to the watching audience, nobody knows the difference. Because you just, okay, now I introduced you our next speaker, Mr. So-and-so, boom, roll the video. Finish only. Number two is when they are standing by for live Q&A, make sure they're wearing the same baju lah, with the same background. If not, people like, hey, tadi dia pakai biru, sekarang dia pakai merah, apa benda ni? Small things like that. You know, the Conti part of it, you have to, so as an event producer, you need to think of the smallest thing lah. Don't pre-record and he was behind a yellow backdrop and going live, suddenly he's in a blue backdrop. Little things like that. But that is definitely super important.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Mr. Jiggy John, for your valuable evolution that you have undertaken. And it has probably inspired a lot of event organizers now. But I think since you also provide solutions and also coaching, I think they can actually collaborate with you to improvise on their services. And moreover, as you mentioned just now, many mushrooming event organizers are coming up now. And since you need to have a quality in the industry, and the world is a big ocean, not everybody is going to compete only in the Malaysian field. They will be competing in the global field. So to compete in the ocean, you need a digitally connected and also a very technically savvy-driven event organizer. So I believe Jiggy John can actually provide these services and empower more event organizers to migrate through IR 4.0. What do you call event?
There are some questions, Nivas. People are asking for one-on-one and all that. So I'm just putting it out there. Whoever's listening,
your email address there for them to contact you directly.
I'm more than happy to work with any of you. You know, wherever it is that you want. So I mean, just Google Jiggy and you'll find 10 pages on me. Don't worry, I'm the least shy person you're ever going to find. So please.
We will keep you for the last part of the Q&A later.
No problem.
Tourism Malaysia.
No problem. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you, Jiggy John. And ladies and gentlemen, we will move on to the next speaker, Mr. Iskandar Mirza bin Muhammad Yusof, who's the Senior Director, Strategic Planning Division of Malaysian Tourism Promotion Board. As mentioned earlier, we have identified the challenges, and now we have spoken about the evolution of the event industry. Next is where the government's role in facilitating and supporting the event industry to subsidize them, to support them, provide a support system through the government initiatives under the PERMULE package, stimulus package 8, where how can event industry capitalize on this? We will start with Mr. Iskandar Mirza, and then we move next to the market development grant from Mr. Mohammad Imran Razi. So I would like to invite Mr. Iskandar Mirza bin Mohammad Yusuf to take the floor. Mr. Iskandar.
Okay, thank you very much, Nivas. Okay, after listening to the two speakers with regards to the mines, I think there are a lot of opportunities in the future, especially nowadays when it comes to the virtuals and hybrid. There's a lot of opportunity for us to promote tourism and also mines, yeah. And this is something that the government play a role in order to help those people who are in this industry, yeah. So I will give you a glimpse of the tourism as in general, and then I will corner on the angles of the grants that we can offer in terms of organizing event or mines, anything in Malaysia, especially for this year 2021. Yeah? Okay, just to share with you, actually, as you know that the whole world is affected by the pandemic. You can see here, based on the United Nations World Tourism Organizations, the people traveling around in terms of world tourist arrival was decreased by 74% in 2020, and the Asia Pacific was decreased by 84%. And for us in Malaysia itself, a decrease of 83%. Yeah? And this is to share with you for the 2020, the figure was 4.3 million for Malaysia, decreased 83.4%, and the receipt that for tourism was 12.7 billion Malaysian ringgit, a decrease of 85.3%. And for the first quarter this year, in terms of international tourist arrival, was 25,256, a decrease of 99.4%. And you can see here, in terms of this pandemic, it really decreased the tourism revenue, decreased the international tourist arrivals, and then direct sectoral impact to those who are involved with the industry, such as air travel, tourism, and hospitality, and also inclusive of mines. The hotels, the closure of the hotels, some are temporarily closed, but some are totally closed, yeah. And travel restrictions due to the MCO, yeah. And for us, even domestically also, we still cannot travel rentas negeri yet, and also the increasing of the unemployment rate and on the tourism sector. Okay, all right. And these are the loss of tourism industry from the pandemic. You can see here in 2020, roughly it's about 60 billion Malaysian ringgit. Yeah? And actually since last year, in terms of government, we have the vacation, Rancangan Ekonomi or stimulus plan in order to help those who are involved with the tourism industry. So it involves to revive the domestic tourism in the country itself, yeah, through all the association which involved in the tourism industry, also to maximize the resources that we have, and also to restore the confidence to travel among the people in Malaysia. Yeah, so these are among initiatives that have been done, and among others, these are among the one that I would like to share with you, the Grant Sokongan Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya, or in short GSPSB. As the name say, is a grant, yeah? And this is for 2021 only. Okay, we are trying ourselves also to request from the Ministry of Finance so that the grant can be, if possible, to be continued until June 2022. Yeah. Okay, this grant actually itself is focusing on the organizing any tourism, arts and culture programs or event by private companies or industry. So this is, I think, reflects on those who are participants for today's event. And this is a one-off allocations supervised by Ministry of Tourism, MOTEC, for this year, but the allocation is given by the Ministry of Finance. So, and this is a reimbursement, where you claims will only be paid after the program or event is completed. So that the tourism can be back in the economic itself. So make sure the event must be is either tourism, arts, or culture. Okay, the minimum shillings that we can approve for this grant is 20,000 Malaysian ringgit, and the maximum shillings is 500,000 ringgit per event, per program per event. Okay, so the maximum approval of this grant will be based on 50% of the total actual expenditure, or according to the maximum ceilings. Okay, scope of the grant, the program must be organized in Malaysia. Participations, it can be from other states also. Okay, if you have a physical event, but if you have hybrid, you can have the participation can be Malaysian and also international. And also generating domestic and international tourism movement. Nowadays, not the international tourism movement, only domestically. And as long as it's benefit the tourism industry. Okay, the category who are eligible for this, these are the four major elements: the private companies, GLC, subsidiaries of the state, and also the local NGO. Okay, the elements that must have you can claim for the grant are in terms of promotions or publicity or advertising, all discourse or media electronics. This all you can claim for the elements of GSPSB. Publications or any printing materials in order to promote this event. The technology-based content development, AR, VR, QR code, and so on. The arts and culture performance is just in case if you have any cultural opening ceremony and so on. Okay, these are some of the things that when you want to come up with a proposal to us, these are the things that you must have, which we will check your checklist more or less. Okay, you must have the name, you must clear on the program or event title. Second, the background of the event, you must clearly state it. Thirdly, the objective, why you do it. Fourth, the program itself, you must list down, if the program in 4 days, you must list down all the detailed program for the 4 days and so on. Program event method, how you do it. Just now we, whether it's physical or virtual or hybrid, you must mention it. And next one is the tentative program of the event. Details of the expenditure, yes, this is because that is where you we consider your what kind of thing, the grant that we can give to you. The promotion, publicity, advertising method, how you do it. The return of investment, the detail of information, what can it impacts the tourism player in Malaysia. Okay, and sponsors, just in case you have sponsors, you must list it down. Okay, the proposal can be in Bahasa or in English. So these are the things that we look into the proposal. Just now I did mention about the ROI. You must be clearly stated of the return of investment of those programs. Cooperation, if you organize it with other companies or state governments, and there is then specific package. Okay, the program venue. So we encourage you to promote the location itself as a tourism destination. Okay, in the new norm, okay, in the new norm, if you do it physically, please make sure that the program or the event subject to compliance with the SOP issued by the government, which is updated from time to time. So nowadays, with the current 4 phases that we are having, so most probably in the 3rd or the 4th phase that you can really organize a physical event. So if you plan to do it by end of the year, there might be, then it can be considered. So you must make sure that you know when is the date that you want to organize the event. Okay, closed or open location, indoor or outdoor. So you need to obtain the permission to do it. So, and then the suspension of program, this is all depend on the KKM or MKN instruction on the state itself or on the locality or district itself. All right. So in order for you to get a real detail for the Grant Sokongan Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya, please go to our website, tourism.gov.my, and there is a hero banner there, Grant Sokongan Pelancongan Seni and Budaya. Click into it and you can get all the details of the requirements and how you can apply for this matter. Please make sure that for organizer, you have to, if we approve for your to consider the program, you have to submit the program and then you have to present it to the committee. There is a committee who will evaluate. You have to present it for 30 minutes for your program. Nowadays we do it virtually, for you to present your proposal. So these are the Urusti or the secretariat for the GSPSB. Okay, and then you can see their email. You can communicate with them, either Miss Masrina or Miss Risti Rozikin or Miss Noshuaida. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Encik Iskandar Mirza bin Muhammad Yusof, the Senior Director of Strategic Planning Division, Malaysian Tourism Promotion Board. Encik Iskandar, thanks for the presentation on Grant Sokongan Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya 2021. I believe this is in this year budget where the government has allocated 24 million for reimbursement purpose. Is that possible to show the slide where the businesses that can apply earlier? The slide.
As long as you are event organizer, you can apply.
Okay, so event organizer can apply for this, including the supply chain, like car rental services. Is that possible?
Are they going to do an event or what?
Yeah, they are actually supporting the event, part of the event.
Okay, the one who can apply is company who organize the event.
Okay.
Okay.
So company that is organizing this event only able to apply this grant.
As mentioned in the earlier slide, this is the Grant Sokongan Pelancongan Budaya is only for organizing event or program for tourism, arts and culture.
Okay. So clearly any MICE, which is the meetings, incentive, conferences and exhibition that promotes tourism.
Yes.
That promotes tourism will be able to apply for this grant from 20,000 to 500,000 per company.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Clearly understand that, and I believe participants who have a lot of need a lot of information, you can go to the website as mentioned by Encik Iskandar and get further details there. And I believe Tourism Malaysia will be able to support all those inquiries to facilitate the event organizers who have actually been badly impacted and have currently migrated into a digitally connected MICE programs. Okay, thank you, Encik Iskandar. Thank you to Tourism Malaysia for your support here.
There's another question.
Yeah, I have a question here. From Mr. KJ Siva. Is there any other requirement for the event company apart from MOF, sir?
Okay, you can answer.
Sir, okay, what you need to do is that you must have a registered with SSM, and then with corporate information, with the summary share capital, directors and officers, the information of shareholders and members, the company charges, and summary of financial information need to be submitted as well with the proposal. And then with the latest laporan penyata kewangan.
So it's audited reports and also the SSM details, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, business details of the company. So I think Mr. Siva, that answers your question.
Mr. Nivas, just for the share the additional information for the participants,
Yes,
the proposal must be submitted to us at least 2 months before the event, because it takes roughly 2 months to process.
Yeah.
At least 2 months.
So before the event, 60 days before the event, they should actually submit the proposal.
At least.
And what is the success rate if everything is there, the success of obtaining this grant?
Okay, as long as we, the success rate, as long as you give all the information correctly, and then the panel happy with all the informations, we will, because there are 3 steps or 3 layers of panel, and the last one will be KSU itself. So recommend we will approve by KSU. So the success is all depend on the information. If genuine, and right nowadays with the current situations, which if the event cannot be, if the event can be can be considered for hybrid, we will suggest you to do it hybrid. If you cannot do it, you must do it physically, then we can still consider it. Okay. But it's all subject to approval from MKN.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Iskandar. Thank you. And I believe whatever that you have shared is all able to be seen in the website. All the information, pertinent informations are there and accessible there. I think tourism will be very much welcome to address all the inquiries over the emails. So thank you, Iskandar. Thank you, Tourism Malaysia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move to the last part of the event today with Encik Muhammad Imran Radzi on market development grant. Well, Encik Muhammad Imran Radzi is the Senior Executive of Market Developing Unit at the Malaysian External Trade Development Corporation, or MATRADE. He joined MATRADE in September 2001 as an Assistant Economic Affairs Officer. He was transferred to MATRADE's office in Chennai later as an Assistant Trade Commissioner. During his tenure in MATRADE, he was transferred to various units from procurement to human resource management and to finance. In 2018, he was transferred to MATRADE's Penang office as an Assistant Director, and from 2020 till date, he is the Head of Market Development Unit. I believe Encik Muhammad Imran Razi's various MATRADE portfolios now is one of the most important portfolio where this department actually distributes grants, market development grants to the SMEs who are actually doing the current nature of business on virtual businesses and also other areas of MATRADE import and export. So probably in this segment, Encik Muhammad Imran can actually share how the event industry can capitalize or leverage on the MDG grant. Encik Imran, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Nivas. Thank you for inviting me today. I will share my slide first. Is my voice clear?
Yes, you're pretty clear, sir.
All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today I will share to every one of you about the market development grant. Before that, by the way, I'm in the market development unit of MATRADE, unit that responsible to process the market development grant. Besides market development grant, MATRADE also have other grants like for e-commerce, for services. So this is one of the grant available in MATRADE. to assist the exporters. So basically, Matrade is the National Trade Promotion Agency in Malaysia under MITI. We are tasked to promote Malaysian product and services overseas. Yeah, our vision is to make Malaysia a globally competitive trading nation, and our mission is promoting Malaysia's enterprise to the world. So in order to assist the Malaysian exporters of services and products, we have 5 offices across Peninsular Malaysia and Borneo, in Penang, in Terengganu, in Sabah, in Sarawak, and also in Johor. So they covered by region. Yeah? And in overseas, we have about 46 offices all over the world. I believe most of the participants of today's event are the event organizer. So if you need any information regarding the market overseas in order for you to prepare for your exhibition locally. For example, now because of the travel restriction, maybe you are thinking of organizing a trade fair virtually and give a value-added service to your customer, like organizing a B2B business meeting. Yeah. And if you are organizing for example, a shoe exhibition, you need the information who are the importers of the shoes in, for example, in Vietnam or in Japan. You can contact Matrade Tokyo or in respective countries to get the information about on who's the potential buyer for the shoes. Yeah, so that's one of the assistance that we can give to our local business community. All right. So core functions of Matrade. Number one, we have we are on export promotion. We participate or coordinate the participation of Malaysian exporters in the trade fairs overseas. We organizing international. We organizing a trade mission, buying mission, and this fall under the export promotion activities of Matrade. So technically, we also organize our own trade fairs. We are also an event organizer technically. Yeah, okay. And then number two, we under exporters development, to develop the exporters. We have a customized program. For example, we have a special program for a youth or for a woman exporters to develop their export market. Yeah, the assistance given, including we cover their expenses to participate in overseas trade fairs for 2 times a year for 3 years. That's one of the example. So we also have the financial assistance to the Malaysian exporters. So market development grant or MDG is fall under this activity. So we also have the e-trade program where we assist company to promote their products in e-commerce platforms such as Alibaba, eBay, and many others. We also organize seminars and workshops to help develop the capacity of our to develop the knowledge to export to our exporters. Besides that, we also have a trade and market intelligence. We have a business library, I believe one of the largest in Malaysia, where you can get the information about the market from all over the world. Yeah, and we also provide market info to the exporters, provide the export opportunities information. So we, from time to time, we will receive a lead from our overseas office on the export opportunities, and then we will forward it to our exporters community, our members. All right. We also have a mobile apps and also a portal for this trade and market intelligence. So besides that, we also involved in trade advisory, where we will give advice to the exporters on the if they have any inquiries about the market or about the requirement to exports. So, okay, right. So that's basically a brief introduction about what we do at Martrade. Yeah. So now we go back to market development grant. Yeah. So basically, the market development grant. Before that, I'm sorry, we do not have any specific grant to the event organizer due to our function of promoting the exports of Malaysian products. Yeah? But I believe we indirectly we have a program that could assist the event organizer. Yeah, so I will explain about it later. So on market development grant, the objective is to assist SMEs, professional services providers, such as engineers, lawyers, and also architects, yeah, and many others. Trade industry also, chambers, commerce, professional bodies and cooperative in undertaking eligible export promotion activities. It's a reimbursable grant on the eligible expenses. Okay, the grant ceiling for company maximum is 300,000 ringgit. Yeah. Okay, so the requirements for exporters to claim for this grant, they must be registered as a Martrade members. Yeah, they must be a Martrade members. At the moment, we have about more than 20,000 members, mostly traders and manufacturers. Yeah, and then other requirement to claim for this grant, not a JLC or have a government equity in the company. Yeah. And you can see they must also export Malaysian-made products. Yeah. All right. So this is, I don't know whether this is related because the grant is for the exporters. All right, who undertake the export promotion activities. Okay, for the manufacturers, the turnover is not exceeding 50 million and full-time employees not more than 200. So basically we covered manufacturing, trading and services. Yeah. Okay, so this is the eligible criteria. Basically the companies must be SMEs, incorporated in Malaysia, even though it's they have foreign equity in it, but must at least own 60% by Malaysians. So then only they are eligible for the grant. Yeah. So it's also open to trade and industries, Chamber of Commerce and professional bodies. Yeah. Okay, and also cooperative. All right. So when I mentioned just now about the exporters to the grant for exporters to undertake the export promotion activities. So these are the activities covered under this grant. Activity 1 is participation in the international trade fairs held in Malaysia and overseas. For the trade fairs, it must be a B2B events. Yeah, we do not cover consumer fairs, and also we do not cover the B2C event either in Malaysia or overseas. It's only for B2B events, yeah, trade fairs. And then the eligible expenses includes participation fees, administration fee, virtual booth, stand, marketing blast, digital marketing tools, exhibitor passes, and booth analytic. Yeah, the grant amount for local event virtual 5,000 and overseas 25,000. Okay, so just now maybe I skip unintentionally about the physical event, because under trade fairs now we have both physical and trade fair and virtual. The virtual was introduced last year in order to assist the Malaysian companies to keep on promoting their products to overseas buyers. So but the amount covered for both events are the same. Yeah. Okay, for activity number 2, by the way, we have now 9 activities covered under this grant. Before this, we only have 4. For this year, we introduced 5 more activities just to assist the Malaysian companies doing promotion activities for their products during this pandemic time. Yeah. Okay. So activity number 2 covered under this grant is participation in trade and investment mission overseas. All right. If organized by Matrade, they can claim up to 10,000 ringgit. If organized on their own, 2,000 ringgit. So this activity, we only recognize the event organized by Matrade or business association. Yeah, this is under this trade and investment mission. Okay, under this trade and investment mission, we also have a virtual. Yeah, for example, if the association organize a business mission to Dubai, for example, and then virtually, and then you charge they charge their participant to participate in the event, because of course the business association need to appoint any third party in Dubai to organize for to arrange for the business meeting. Yeah. the participant can claim for this grant. The amount is the same as the physical mission. Yeah, the eligible expenses covered participation fees and digital marketing tools. Okay, activity number 3, participation in international conference held overseas. This is only, at the moment, this is only physical. For your information, normally the people in the professional services like engineers and lawyers, they have the annual conference organized by their respective bodies in overseas. Yeah, so they can claim for the grant if they participate in the international conference. And we covered participation fees, accommodation, airfare, and also if the event is in Singapore, if they buy, they go there using the local transport, so they can claim for the taxi fare or bus fare. Yeah, so they can claim up to 2,500 ringgit. So activity 4 is listing fee for made in Malaysia product in supermarkets, hypermarket, retail centers or boutique outlets located overseas. Yeah, the grant amount is 2,000 ringgit per country and per supermarket. We covered only the eligible expenses. Listing fee. Okay. So starting this year from 1st January 2021 until 31st December 2021, we have introduced or reintroduced 5 more activities to assist the Malaysian exporters affected by this pandemic, COVID-19. So the activities are financial compensation for cancellation or postponement of trade fairs locally or overseas. Yeah. If, for example, if they have make a booking for hotel or air ticket and suddenly the event got cancelled, they can claim for reimbursement on the expenses of their accommodation and the air ticket. Okay, and then we also have, this is the most popular one, the reimbursement on logistic costs for sending Malaysian product overseas. Yeah, we will reimburse their expenses on the transport cost for sending a product to overseas. Number 3, international certification for exports. Yeah, if they registered their company for HACCP, for ISO, for the purpose of export, because they need that certification in order for their goods to comply with the importers countries regulation. They can claim for this international certification for exports grant. Okay, and also registration of intellectual property for international market. And also we covered the cost of advertising and promotion expenses for exports. Yeah. So basically, for a new exporters or for a new company who wanted to claim for this grant, they can do it online. They just need to go to Matrade website. Of course, before that, they need to register as Matrade members. We will give them a membership number where they need to key in before they can enter the online form section. Yeah. right? So this is the summary of or important notes for those who are interested to claim this grant. We advise them to read and understand the guidelines, because there are some important document required in order to claim this grant that they might overlook, like for example, we ask, in order to make sure that this company is SMEs, where their revenue is not more than 50 million, we will ask for audited account, the current one. So sometimes the company overlook about this document. So better for them to read and understand the guidelines. Yeah. And then they must be registered as Matrade member. And then since they do not have to send the documents physically to the office, but they just need to upload the document online. It must be properly scanned and in color. Yeah, and then document must be in English translated. For example, now the exhibition in China is becoming more popular to Malaysian companies, but their receipt, when they want to claim the grant, of course we will ask for the invoice, the receipt. When it is in Mandarin, difficult for us to see the item for us to reimburse. Yeah, so just a simple translation will do. Yeah. And the company also need to inform on any changes on their address, account number, yeah, to avoid any delay in processing their grant or reimburse the claim, the reimbursement of the claim. Okay. And all claim document must be under company name. Yeah. For example, if you participate, if the participation fee is paid by your sister company, only your sister company can claim, not your company. Yeah. So this is what we meant by must be under company name. Yeah. Okay. So Matrade upcoming events. So because we also affected by the COVID-19, so we have to organize our signature events also online. We have the E-National Export Day 2021 from 13 to 15 July 2021. So in this program, we will invite our speakers from Matrade overseas to talk about the market overseas and the opportunity available in their station. And also we will invite the industry players to talk about the market condition now, you know. So everybody is welcome to participate in the event. You can register yourself at Matrade website. Yeah, we still have time. And also in September, we will organize MIHAS, Malaysia International Halal Showcase. Yeah. If any company that have a halal product that wanted to participate in the exhibition can contact can go to our website for more information. Right. So basically that is my presentation all about.
Thank you, Imran.
All right. So if you have any information, you require any information, please send your inquiries to mdg@matrade.gov.my. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Nivas.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you very much for the well explained MDG grant from Matrade. And I believe that will be very much helpful for the overall event industry who has got an overview about the MDG. And Imran, I have a question here by one of our participants. the reimbursement was also provided for the cancellation of trade fair events, right? So is it relevant for the current situation for 2021 and 2020 for any cancelled exhibition or trade fair that was supposed to be organized by the event industries?
Okay. For your information, at the moment, we already started receiving the application for MDG grant for participation in the physical event overseas. China already opened up, yeah. Dubai, I think, already opened up, but we do not know whether they will continuously, this opening up of the physical trade fairs overseas will sustain or not, because we cannot predict. Anything can happen during this pandemic. Maybe they will have to close down again, you know. So this just to prepare for that possibility. It was introduced last year, by the way.
No, but what I'm asking is the event that is supposed to be hosted in Malaysia to be organized by the Malaysian event companies, it was cancelled because of restriction order by the government last year. It has eventually been cancelled. Okay. And the potential orders this year that they have events that they have secured, probably big events has to be planned a year ahead, right? Or 2 years ahead. So those plannings, they would have paid some deposits to the hall, to the respective vendors, a deposit to get them on board for this project, you see? So when COVID-19 happened, the whole system collapsed, and now are they able to claim for the cancellation of events?
Okay, as I explained before, we do not have a specific grant for the event organizer, because
there is that's why I saw on your slides where you say that for cancellation of trade fair and exhibitions.
It's for the exhibitors.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, exhibitors, not event planners.
For the exhibitors. For the exhibitors, because they already make a payment, a booking for hotel to travel to KL, for example, or even the transport, logistic costs, so they can claim under this activity.
Okay, thank you, Imran, for the clarification. Well, do we have any other questions, participants, to Encik Imran on market development grant by Madrid? I think today we had a very good, extensive, comprehensive event, program on the disruption and evolution of the event industry, where it was addressed well on the challenges, disruptions by Mr. Jagarao from Agenda Surya, and then from the disruption, how can the event industry capitalize or migrate towards virtual event planning, and by adapting IR 4.0 technologies like AI and IoT and big data. And also thereafter, we have a speaker from tourism and Madrid to address on the available grants to support and subsidize the event companies. So I believe this program would have given some insights to the respective participants from the event industry on how to actually manage your current risk, how to actually migrate and adapt to the current technologies so that your business sustainability can be continued and evolve towards a different business proposition and globally connected via your business. So if there is no questions, I believe all the contact of the prospective speakers has been posted here on the chat box, and you can contact them directly. Or if you have any other inquiries, you can contact Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce Secretariat. Our email address will be in the chat box, enquiry@klsiki.com.my, or contact us. We will connect you to the respective speakers for further information to support your business. So without further ado, thank you, Encik Imran. Thank you, respective speakers, Mr. Jagarao, Mr. Jonathan.
A screenshot, please.
Yeah, can we have all the speakers and all the participants turning on your cameras? So, Secretariat, can we have a Secretariat? Can we have a screenshot of all the speakers and participants? Taken?
Yes, taken.
Thank you so much to the participants, to the respective speakers. We had a very good session today, and I wish everyone all the best in your next business evolution. Thank you very much, and see you again in the next Zoom Town Hall session of KLCK. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabri.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Menarik.
After ini former DJ.